What up? Today is Bookmap Day, Wednesday. It was too early to be laughing this hard, yeah. So, large red candle so far out of the gate. Like I said, I do expect a too much, too fast move. We do have liquidity up to 21,950. We have a lot of crap going on up here. In fact, if you go back and look into prior candles, we have the imbalance coming up for FOMC, which will reject the first time. And once we claim that, of course, will be going up. Crazy stuff. Very, very green stuff. Spot gamma. Let's hit refresh on the old tradie ticks. Apple once again getting smoked like Thanksgiving turkey. Everything okay? You're missing some words today. I just had a busy morning. I'm good, though. I'm good. I think our friends in Pensacola have more snow on the ground. Yeah, Florida, man. Florida's getting some snow. It's like that movie The Day After Tomorrow. Look at the VIX. So it looks like NASDAQ is going to run to 950, fill that liquidity. VIX is launched from 1460 to 1530. Now, why does the VIX do what it just did? Because people are positioning for a downside move. Or, not even that, but they are just protecting themselves against a large upflow move or downflow move. That usually happens when we have an elevated move like this, a sustained elevated move. That's nothing special, which is a very elevated sustained move. And that's a very aggressive move on the old VIX. I'm getting the YouTube link for some people. What do you mean some people? There you go. Booyah. Just filled 950. We still have 22,000 up top. What's up, morning, KC? Corey, how you doing? Large red candles across NASDAQ, XLF, Dow, across the board. When playing too much too fast, do you short speculatively prior to open or wait for confirmation? All right, that's a good question. I don't play speculatively at the open. I don't just sling the short in hopes that it does go down. Because, yeah, although sometimes I'll catch a big early move, but I don't want to just kind of sling that into it. I want to look for a confirmation of sorts. It's not the typical confirmation because in the first 15 minutes, you have to play quick and aggressive if you want to take these type of risks. And then, of course, you've got to bring down position sizing when you're playing such moves. So right now, what am I seeing? I'm seeing the Russell get killed. I'm seeing the Dow get killed. I'm seeing XLF get killed, bonds. I'm seeing VIX launch. I'm seeing a huge top wick on Microsoft. So I'm seeing the signs of a too much, too fast move beginning to form. Now, obviously, NASDAQ just put on a launch pad of a move. So if I want to see this downside here, I need to be able to see NASDAQ begin to sell off into strength and then play the too much, too fast and balance move. And then hopefully if it falls, I'm looking for 766, which would be a fantastic too much, too fast move, which I think is a likely target. And then, of course, watch the VIX. There's a lot of support here for a too much, too fast move. So, yeah. ES down. Coming on down. Looking across the market, we have mostly green except for, once again, Apple. XLF is 80% red. Mostly all the green is located into tech names. Surprise, surprise. And the general market is red. What is that? All right, still hanging out here. They're putting liquidity on lower. A lot of red around the market, except for, of course, tech. And NVIDIA put on a massive green run up yesterday, and they are hanging out here at 144.70. Apple is 222. Now, my whole thesis for the week, especially if you listen to the weekly brief, was early week red followed by a green up week at best and a sideways week at worst into Friday as we prepare for next week's shenanigans. We have a whole bunch of shenanigans next week. What I did not expect, though, is for all of that to happen so quickly. We had a 400-point sell-off on pre-market yesterday on NASDAQ, and then a bounce up here, and then an absolute onslaught of the buyer's action. So things have unfolded quite quickly. Very quickly. So where do we go from here? Well, that is what I don't know yet. So far, everything still looks very bullish. There's no signs of selling into strength like there was the past 4 weeks. Everything is holding up nicely, and buyers are buying up everything. Now today, we'll have to see how things close. I do expect a small profit-taking pullback at least to play the too much too fast move. We have looking around the X's, right? Like I said earlier, most of the X's are red today, and pretty decently red too. 0.9% red, 0.8% red, 0.7% red, 0.4% red, while the only thing that's green is tech-related items. Surprise, surprise. And I think that's because Trump just announced $800 million into a AI production initiative or something. So yeah. All right, a little bit of red here on NASDAQ-eroni. And once I get a little bit of a top wick here, I'm going to play the TMTF move. Let's see. I don't like buying at these elevated levels. That is faux show. So I'm going to be patient. Today, we have very minor data. 10 o'clock, we have U.S. leading index, which is a 2-star event. 1 o'clock, we have the 20-year bond auction at also 1 p.m. Billions and billions. Love it. Have you also bought the DAX? I have not bought the DAX. So there's a lot of posturing out there right now, which could mean a lot for the markets the next 4 years. You know, Denmark's throwing down some hefty words. Canada's throwing down some hefty words. The World Health Organization's throwing down some hefty words, and we'll see whose words carry some weight. You know what? My daughter made a drink this morning. She didn't drink it, so I'm drinking it now, so it doesn't go to waste. You know what the bad part about drinking that after a 9-year-old is backwash. I think half of her eggs is in this cup. They don't know how to drink without backwashing. A little bit of protein, it's all right. I like adding protein to my drinks. It's kind of gross. How can you tell when there's a lot of algorithmic trading? Very aggressive sustained price action. So when you're looking at the algorithms to really start to hit, you see a lot of crazy candles that begin to push one direction without a lot of wick. It just keeps on going. And when the algorithms are kicked on like that to buy, look at Microsoft, double top wick to sell off and move a little bit lower. So I think the too much too fast move is getting close. Yeah, I just answered that, kid. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like I said, there's been a lot of posturing around the globe that I think is going to mean a lot for the markets the next 4 years. I think it's going to be a crazy couple of years. Yeah, child backwash. So, let's take a look at Hero while we're waiting for the first 15 minutes here. ES is still heading lower. NASDAQ is still kind of not moving here, sitting at 950. Overall, ES has been in the same price. It's been in since 4 o'clock this morning. Hasn't moved. Just chilling here in a little, like 5-point range on ES. Microsoft double top wick. Dow's coming down. Russell's coming down. XLF is coming down. VIX is still going higher to 1517. Massive put buying right now. 1.5 billion puts on ES and no call activity whatsoever. So very aggressive put buying here. The boxes are beginning to be checked here for an eventual move lower. Like I said, I don't know when it is yet. It could be, in an hour. But the boxes are beginning to be checked to build a resume for a downside position after a little too much too fast here. Just a little pullback profit taking. That's what I'm looking for. Imbalance fill. This is algos, right? Those sustained runs, yes. That's when they kick on the algos and they begin to buying where they lift the ask and they begin the campaign. Another top wick on NASDAQ. Very minor top wick here. So I really need them to take out that 910 area to start jumping on board with this too much too fast. Look at Microsoft. Getting wrecked. They're getting wrecked. Very tight IV and gamma today, so maybe we have a consolidation session. Hopefully not. There's a little bit more red. What can we do with it? Ticks of the tradie variety. Massive put buying. Aggressive put buying here. 1.6 billion and increasing. No call activity whatsoever. Microsoft getting dumped. Here comes NASDAQ starting to fill lower here, so get ready. What had Netflix up? Didn't Netflix just have earnings? Pretty sure they just had earnings. Had a guy sign up for Tier 2 and pay for Tier 2 and then come in and start spamming DMs. He was a promoter. It was great. Hashtag banned. Take his money and ban. That's right. Still not a lot of movement here. This will be a very profitable trade once it sets up right. You just got to be patient. I'm not chasing this high prices here. It'll come. NVIDIA does not want lower. Not yet, it ain't. Nope. Not yet. Dow and Russell, look at XLF getting smoked. Banks are getting smoked. I want that red, baby. I want that purple stuff. Firewall. I've had the drywall guy call me like 10 times today. He's like, it's drywall, dude. Just give me my drywall. How many questions do you have about drywall? All right, come on, baby. ES is still back and forth in a 5-point range. Not a lot of movement here. We have a barely red CVD. We have liquidity up to 22,000. We have ES at 61.17 to 61.25. Yeah, just not a lot of movement today so far. Next week, I'm telling you all, is the week to prepare for. Don't get caught up this week when next week is huge. It's like going to McDonald's right before you go to a Ruth Chris Steakhouse or I don't know, whatever steakhouse you like. Don't fill up on the crap. What's up, Invest in Muscle? How you doing, buddy? NASDAQ still heading higher. That's 2 bottom wicks here so far. Very tight, very slow action. Until they get under about 910, I am not playing the too much too fast move. Tonight, Bank of Japan rate decision? Yep. If I'm going to steakhouse, I'm filling up on bread anyway. Yeah. Day 3 of 5 of fast, then back to carnivore for a few months. Like it. There you go. That takes some strength, baby. $61.15, still holding. What time is it? It is 9:46. We just finished the first 15-minute candle. NVIDIA is flying. Everything else is not. VIX is also heading higher, 1519, after a large green move, which tells me they piled into positions. Now, I said my theory for the VIX was it would roll back over and it would hold lower 15s to mid 16s into a next week, with a potential of a quick move down into the upper 14s and then back up, or a quick move back up to the upper 16s then back down. But it was going to hold this area going into next week's FOMC, and that's exactly what happened today. It popped down to the 14s, immediately hammered back up into the 15s as they're carrying volatility. And the reason why, they have to carry a little bit of protection. And this market right now does not support a 12 VIX. There's too much going on to support a 12 VIX. So you have to adjust those expectations. And then once we get through FOMC, maybe then it'll come back down into the 13s. So far, ES's pin NASDAQ is still holding just up at the top of the range here. Can I find the options flow in IBKR? Not the flow. You can obviously use the options chain. All I heard was a Texas Roadhouse effect, filling up on bread. But man, there's Texas Roadhouse is the goat for pre-meal bread. It's fantastic. Hey, I'm gonna open my futures account back up. Beautiful, Invest in Muscle. Keep it up. Beautiful. I think that's a good idea, baby. Good idea. 2025 is gonna be a glorious year. Glorious. Glorious. Pensacola has broken an all-time record today for snowfall. More snow in Pensacola than ever before in recorded history. Interesting, according to this report at least. Very boring open. Not a lot of movement here. This is where patience comes into play, baby. Pick your awesome targets and monitor Erebus until you get it. This is where legends are made. When you wait, when you lie and wait. Put flow is still aggressively being bought. 1.7 billion in puts and no activity in calls. Zero. Not buying, not selling. Zilch. In fact, it's so mundane. I'm going to hit refresh to make sure that I'm not getting an incorrect reading. Nope, that's accurate. First time the Gulf of America has gotten snow. Heck yeah, man. 1/10 of an inch. Yeah. 100% with that honey butter. I love honey butter, baby. Honey butter. I got turned on to honey butter from Outdoor Boys, and man, he is on to something. That stuff is dynamite. I live in northern Indiana and can't get any decent snow this year, but Florida and Louisiana, 6 inches. Tell me about it. We've been trying to make our way over to Perfect North, and we tried to go a couple weeks ago, and literally they closed the slopes because there's no snow. Like, come on now. Going back green, 61.16. Microsoft is recovering. VIX is shifting down just a hair, and still not a lot of big movement here, but they're just holding the top of the ranges. Who would have thought that one could have bought a semi of snow shovels and heaters and drove to Florida and become a millionaire? Heck yeah, man. Bank of Japan rate decision is tomorrow night. What's up, Hernan? Yeah, that should be shaking and bacon. If you're looking for some overnight trading, that's a good one to trade. That 0203 time frame should be great. Robinhood adds XPX options. I thought they did that a while ago. Going green. A little bit of green here. Like 3 months ago. Maybe they add zeros. If they were smart, they would add zeros. If they want to make millions of dollars in commissions, they would add zeros. Well, I guess Robinhood's free, isn't it? What time is it? Coming up on 10 o'clock, baby. We do have minor data in 9 minutes. It's not big data, it's just minor data. But still yet to have a pullback. We haven't had a pullback since 9 o'clock yesterday morning. So they are running the algos on us. Running the algos on us. Very, very bullish run. Still going. 61.17. Still going green. Too much, too fast move today is going to come a little bit later. It'll come, guaranteed. But you're just going to have to be patient for it. That's why I pick out a target and don't play it till then. Just got access on my Robinhood. 3 cents. Snooze fest. Man, NASDAQ is on a freaking rampage. NASDAQ is now up. Man, 500 points since 9 a.m. yesterday with not a single pullback. Just going, going, going. So they're running the algos on us. For sure. ES, not so much. ES is dead flat. It's been dead flat for 5 hours now. But NASDAQ is freaking rampant. It's because of what Trump was talking about with the AI stuff. He's about to pump $1 billion into the AI industry. In addition, because that wasn't enough to pump $8 trillion into the economy the past 7 years or 4 years. We need another $1 billion into the AI, and it's going. Go in. That's the only reason I would think that tech is running and everything else is dropping. The X&P is deeply red, 90% red, while XLK is up 2%. That is incredibly one-sided. Tech sector is up 2%, everything else 90% red to the S&P. And NASDAQ is still rocketing here. Here's 22,000 coming up for liquidity. And they are grabbing this liquidity right here before they drop it back down to 925. Still running. 100-point move on NASDAQ while ES remains flat. Huge discrepancy. I wonder how good Robinhood's desktop trading platform is. They honestly could have became a very good broker, especially that with the easy and slick interface they have. But lost a lot of credibility. Yep. Are your charts wrong? See the S&P is up 5.6%. The S&P index is up 0.56, but if you look at the X's of the rest of the tech, or the rest of the, whatever you call it, the X sectors, it's very red. Look at this. So tech is so strong right now, it's keeping the S&P upright. But tech is up 2%, and everything else is deeply red. And here we go. Just broke 22,000, still going. Still going. So it looks like I'm not getting too much too fast. That's okay. I'm not in the way of buying highs for higher prices on moves like this early. It's a low probability trade. I'm okay with missing this. I will wait my turn, baby. Wait my turn. boo, boo, boo. NASDAQ still blasting, 22,000. They have liquidity up to 22,050. Still no liquidity move. We are now 24 hours straight of buying. Algorithmic buying. This is algorithmic push right here, baby. And still pushing. Good thing we were patient. NASDAQ never climbed the 910. Exactly. That's where you have to do your due diligence and place a target on which you're going to enter. So I need to see the signs of the market beginning to show that too much too fast move. And if you don't get it, you can't take it. It's not speculation. So now it's just too much or too much faster. Isn't that true? Isn't that the truth? What was significant about 910? That was the liquidity pull from the prior pivot. If you go back and look right there at 910, that's where the wicks were, the top wicks and the bottom wicks were from the past overnight session. So let's go take a look at the hero again. What do we got? 1.6 billion in puts being purchased. They're starting to buy some calls now, but it's way one-sided to the puts. Still going. Still going though. Now up 130 points. So why would there be nearly 2 billion in put buying but no call buying and still have the market go up? Because everything is positional. It's all about positional. And right now the running the algos. To 22,000. $22.8. Top wick. Does Hero tell if it's retail or institutional? Yes. I've got it set to institutional. How would you balance the too much too fast thesis via super strong freight train trend up thesis? Probabilities. Because here's the downside to too much too fast. Y'all know how consistent that move is. I'm a probability style trader. I play with a probable move. This is a low probability move. This doesn't happen that often, where we blast up for 24 hours straight and then continue to blast up another 100 points at the open with no pullback. This doesn't happen very often. The problem with the too much too fast move in the first 20 minutes is that when this move happens, I miss it, which is perfectly fine because the times when it works, it pays me very well. So how do I balance it? I just sit here and watch it. That's just the way it is. This is a quick momentum move the first 15 minutes, 30 minutes of the session. So I don't like buying elevated prices when the probabilities say that when the market is very directional pre-market, they typically have a clear the inventory move at the open and then continue on the trend. This is a low probability move. So I just sit here and watch it until I get a good VPA move, a good liquidity sweep. That's the nature of short-term trading. When you're doing short-term trading, you have to play the probabilities. The market on the short-term scale is inherently very unpredictable. Hence, 95% of retail gets smoked every day. So in order to reduce that unpredictability, you've got to play the probabilities. Keep it simple, play the probabilities. Sometimes you miss moves, sometimes you catch them, sometimes you lose. And we all have fun. The only thing that's certain in trading is that Reddit is a dumpster fire. Thought you were going to say death and taxes. Yeah, yeah. Not a single red candle or a single bearish candle so far on the 15-minute for NASDAQ, but we're waiting our turn. Waiting our turn. How's everybody doing on YouTube? Y'all good? We have some liquidity printing down 950. Anytime I had a bad trading day, I just go to Reddit and remind myself it could be worse at trading. Yeah, we had to openly talk about making a video on it. Emma's were listening because I'm sitting on that button again. Well, like I said, man, I haven't officially gone back and calculated the probability of this move, which I'd love to do, but I guarantee you it's over 80%. This is, hey now, I'm a rock star. Get your gun on. No. What a great song. Y'all remember the game Road Trip? Y'all ever play that game Road Trip? It's like the Twisted Metal knockoff. They had Smash Mouth. Man, that was a big old move. What a Trump tweet. That is going to be a very common question the next 4 years. How much tweets could Trump tweet if Trump could tweet tweets? Although it doesn't have the same ring to it about X. Did Trump just X? $22,000. I have a monitor dedicated to him now. His last presidency, he was a dip buying machine. 100%, man. So they want to get this 950 liquidity. Well, they just hammered that candle. So remember, never chase the initial candle after a tight move. That kind of candle right there that comes out of nowhere, don't chase it. You will get slapped on your hand a majority of the time. So now that they've dumped it and bottom wicked it back up, now we get to see what the ramifications of that move is. It's just being patient. Data. Yeah, but it was 3 minutes ago. That came a little delayed. They just tapped that liquid. ES has very little liquid. Hero indicator now is 1.9 billion, and they just sold all the calls. So they are piling into puts and selling the calls. Tariffs are coming. President Trump to set place tariffs on China, Mexico, Canada as soon as February 1st. Estimates show that the Trump tariffs could generate $3.3 trillion of revenue. I don't care about that unless it's tied to, and he's doing away with taxes. I will get a Trump tattoo on my chest if he actually gets rid of the IRS and destroys taxes. I don't care about anything else. I don't care about a single anything else. I don't care about Doge. I don't care about DEI. I don't care about any of that. I want taxes gone. You give me that, I'm doing it. I want my overtime tax gone. Yeah, that would be huge too. Overtime tax. 21,996. Dropping back over to 22,000. Let's go, baby. Make something happen. I don't care about Hamas. I don't care about Israel. I don't care about Palestine. I don't care about Ukraine. They could glass the whole place. I want the IRS gone. Come on, baby. Give me a top wick. And then hold it. Still, ES is kind of pinned right there back and forth. NASDAQ after that bottom wick has come back up to 22,000. and looking to make a move. Looking to make a move. Come on now. That is it for Catalyst until 1 p.m. 1 p.m. we will have 20-year bonds. And yeah, that's it. So we'll see. Gold's consolidating again for a move higher, it appears. Keep an eye on gold. Still 22,000. Tell us how you really feel. Yeah. 22,050. Hey, I'm thinking about buying June Q puts. Your thoughts? There's a bit of an unknown here with the market the next couple of months. June puts could pay very well, or you can get smoked. So I don't like taking long-term puts like that unless you have two conditions to be met. One of two. Doesn't have to be both. One of two conditions being met. One is that you're prepared to manage and you're going to use it in some sort of put writing strategy. You buy Q puts, you turn it to a put credit spread, whatever. That's fine. The second condition is you have a dang good thesis as to why the market's going to drop to make those puts profitable. And right now, I don't see it just yet. There's a lot of speculation and conjecture why those June puts could play very well, but from a technical standpoint in the charts, there's no good reason why those puts will pay right now. That's my thoughts. Now, you could have no theory whatsoever of downside puts, and as long as you're willing to manage the trade and put on, a PCS and short weeklies against it, I think it's a fantastic strategy. You could just sit there and farm short puts against it, and then if the market happens to drop 10% in 2 weeks, then you'll make all that money back. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I like doing that at elevated levels because you can kind of play when the market decides to drop. Yeah, so we are about to tap-a-roni on the imbalance from FOMC as well as the trend line. And yeah, kind of what Paul just said here is that the puts they're piling into the puts here. 2 billion in puts here, and they are selling the calls all the way off. There's no call buying activity whatsoever on the 0 DTE scale. It's all put buying. So I think they're going to run this algorithm up and then dump it. Unless I'm just completely mistaken. So far we have doji at these elevated levels. $22,020. How far down on Qs more or less for today? I mean, I'm not looking for a huge move down, just a profit taking. It's still going up here, so yeah, I guess I'm just going to watch a nice 200-point trend. What do you think about Apple 230 March calls, or do you wait to see? That's a good question. I like that play better than downside positions until it's coming along. So Apple 230 March calls. I mean, Apple's been the redhead stepchild of the market here the past 5 weeks. It's been getting destroyed. So I would say March 230 Apple calls is a great idea once we have the VPA base, because don't underestimate how far they can play a little disposition on this thing. Apple just touched the November lows and then put on this hammer candle green here. If they sell that back off, I'd look for 214, and that's where I would take the calls. If they hold today's candle, I would play calls up to 230. If they hold 230, I'd play to 240. If they hold 240, it's coming all the way back up. So I like the idea of Apple calls. Guy just posted on my Reddit page, the investing community is one of the most toxic communities I've ever encountered. Yep. That is very true. NASDAQ is 22,033. Would you ever play MSTR? Is not blue chip enough. It has good liquidity. I typically don't play those type of plays. I stick to what I know, which is the blue chip stuff, and or large cap. The MSTR, it's a large stock. It's 384. It's got decent liquidity, but it's just something I'm not very much familiar with. So. Client margin balances. Interesting. I don't know you could tie that into. Is that true? What is that? Interesting utilization of capital there. A couple of top wicks here, still unable to hold. They've got liquidity up to 22,075. I have a target of 400 now. There you go. I need to put on a swing trade. I'm looking for a swing trade here. Excuse me. I think the S&P wants at all-time high. Going to toss a micro short at the level for all supports it. Excuse me. I agree. They're going to come up here and test this all-time high level. Granted, we still have 6 days left until FOMC, and then they're going to have shenanigans, and that's where the big shenanigans are going to be. Next week in general has got a lot of catalyst, and it's going to be culminated by the FOMC move. So, yeah, there's a huge gap on NASDAQ from Qs from it. Yep, there is. Qs have gone on a rampage for the past 24 hours, and they haven't had a pullback. But that's been the name of the game now for a while. Ever since this volatility kicked off in early December, it's been Gap City. It's Gap City. There are unfilled gaps all over this chart. Well, now they've filled a lot of them, but now there's even more gaps to the upside. $2.1 billion in puts being purchased, no calls. It's almost worth throwing down some micros here. NASDAQ is now up 100, 200 points, 130. Still going. Not a single pullback in 24 hours. Still going. After the retest off of the trend line, I think the bulls can hold the target 22,110. All that put buying got me suspicious. Well, there's a lot of weird signs here. That's why I was kind of sitting on the sidelines. The entire S&P is red. Incredible amount of put buying. Big green on the VIX. ES can't hold a bid. NASDAQ is the only thing, like tech is the only thing that's launching, and it's launching to a very major degree. So, yeah, it's just, you either play long NASDAQ or you just kind of wait here because, yeah, it's going nuts. What do you think about the whole Home Builders XHB chart? I started tracking the XHB about a year and a half ago. The XHB specifically, I've been tracking Home Builders for a while, but the XHB specifically, just to kind of monitor what's going on here. They had a massive, massive bear move in December, and now they're starting to kind of bounce back up and retest areas. Trump just put out another initiative yesterday to start to begin to help the housing market. I didn't read the specifics of what he was going to try to do, but he wants to try to reinvigorate the housing market, which is weird because it hasn't really pulled back yet, but or to lower prices. So I don't know what the XHB is going to do. I would probably say that the prices are going to start to head a little bit higher because of the the California situation and the North Carolina situation. We're having to rebuild two cities, and one of which is the most expensive city in the world, or at least in the country. So I mean that's going to affect it. Where do you get the data about the volume purchased on calls and puts? I get it off of the Hero indicator, Spot Gamma's Hero. HIRO. Interactive Brokers has reported the highest amount of client margin balances in history. That dog reminds me of the dog from Rick and Morty. Yeah, yeah. Still going green. It's crazy. You're welcome, 007. What we got? What we got? Excuse me. Fight me over it. The first 4 seasons, yeah. Then it got a little meh. Still going. 22.02. We've been back and forth at about this level now for, I don't know, almost an hour. I do have Bookmap today, so in about 5 minutes I'll be shutting down the stream and switching over to the Bookmap streams. And right about that time is when we'll have a 150 point move down. So let's go take a look at the gamma. What do we got here? SPX GEX is currently situated at 6110 is the GEX for today. They are pulling liquidity higher, 21.1. There's no top wick that holds. Everything is just buying up to go higher. Yeah, buddy. Is Hero part of the Bookmap? Nope. Hero is separate. So Hero is part of the Spot Gammas tool. They offer tracking on any expiration you want, zeros or whatever, for pretty much any name. Right now, yeah. So they also have a tool called the Trace, which is how you track the positioning in the market. You're welcome. Just looking through here. A couple of things. Nothing's changed. Everything looks all the same. They are still building this liquidity a little bit higher. They still have a whole bunch of liquidity lower. Very robust book on NASDAQ. Very robust. They have a lot of liquidity up, a lot of liquidity down. ES, not so much. Hardly anything on ES's book. They have a big old level. Oh, I haven't seen that. Where's that guy coming from? Look at that level. 59.50. Where does that put us? Big red candle ES. Big red candle ES. 59.50 puts us right at the kickoff point from January 14th. A little bit of red finally. Waiting till you say, yeah, boy. What's up, Maddie? How you doing, buddy? top wick. Looking forward to 2025. You and me both, man. It's going to be a great, great year. All right, y'all. I do have to sign over to the Bookmap stream, so I do have to end this stream, but I'll be starting one up immediately over on Bookmap's channel and on the YouTube channel as well. So if you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, just wait for the notification to pop up and you'll see it. So, all right, I'll be right back. I'm out.